So, how are we related? Oh, we both die saving Optimus Prime's life. Oh. Sup guys, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Now, you're probably wondering, why didn't I do a review of Bumblebee before Cliffjumper? Well, a few days ago I did a poll, letting my viewers decide which of the 4 War for Cybertron figures I should start with. And they all led to Cliffjumper. I said 4 War for Cybertron Studio Series figures when there's 5. Well, a few months back I did a review of Optimus Prime, which was months before the poll. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get on with the figure. So, this Bumblebee figure is actually pretty good. I like it. I mean, yeah, it's the same mold as Cliffjumper, but still. I mean, the mold literally originated from Bumblebee, and he kinda does look like how he looks like in the video game. Especially with the head sculpt. Painting and sculpting, pretty much the same thing as Cliffjumper, except for the paint job and the head. The kibble is handled. It's handled okay. This is how it looks like in the video game, especially when you're playing on third person. This looks a little goofy though. Oh, and I do like how the alternate mode kibble for the arms is handled. The designers in Hasbro did a really good job with that. Although, one thing I never pointed out with Cliffjumper was the hollow gap right here. It looks very hollow. You could see through. I guess it wasn't as bad as the Revenge of the Fallen 13 Megatron. Even that wasn't bad. Also, one thing I've noticed is that, like Cliffjumper, Bumblebee has the Autobot logo. Oh, by the way, this guy actually dies in the video game. He died saving Optimus Prime's life. Megatron was about to kill Optimus using this kind of plasma cannon, and then Bumblebee jumped in and took the shot. Then he died, Optimus cried, then Optimus woke up and chose violence. Anyways, let's talk about his accessories, which are literally the same thing as Cliffjumper. Starting off with the sword, yeah, I don't recall Bumblebee using a sword. I didn't play the game, I gotta check it out. Anyways, it just plugs onto his hand. You can also have it reverse gripped. And if you bring in Cliffjumper's sword, you could have both of the swords being held in Bumblebee's hand. Or you could have them dual wielded. By the way, Cliffjumper and Bumblebee's weapons are pretty much like the same gray, kind of. Like you could barely tell which one's Cliffjumper's and which one's Bumblebee's. Anyways, here's Bumblebee's Stinger Cannon, which I found out is supposed to be painted yellow, but I guess the budget didn't allow that. The tip of the gun appears to be 3mm compatible. That means you could fit any blast effect that has a 3mm slot onto the tip of the gun, which was something I explained for Cliffjumper. Anyways, what you're going to do is you're going to take this out. We're doing the 01 Studio Series Bumblebee arm switcheroo, which is totally fine. And yeah, that's pretty cool. You could rotate it if you want. Yeah, I like how big it is. But then there's this gun. Yeah, what is this? Doesn't even look like a gun. It looks like it's used to repair something. Or it looks like it shoots long range. I don't know. The gun also has a 3mm peg. Just like Cliffjumper, the backpack does have these slots over here which serve as weapon storage. So if you want, you could store both Bumblebee's guns, or you could have the sword there as well, but then what are you going to do with this? Because you can't store it onto anywhere else. That's why it's better to have both guns in the back, and Bumblebee holds the sword on his hand. Anyways, let's just get down to articulation. Starting off, ball joint at the head, which is a little bit better than the ball joint for Cliffjumper. Ups and downs, swivel, full rotation at the arm, bend at the shoulder, bend at the elbow, elbow swivel, waist swivel, legs can spread, leg can move forward, can move backward as well, thigh rotation, bend at the knee, goofy bend at the foot, and the front of the foot can move up and down. Now there is a way to modify the legs. What you can do is you could actually rotate the waist and then rotate the legs, which allows like a better pivot joint, although I'm not too sure if this is accurate. So that's why it's just better to have the legs like this in the proper way. Anyways, let's just get down a size comparison. Starting off, here he is next to the Core Class Bumblebee, Studio Series Bumblebee Movie B127, Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee, Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Cliffjumper, Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Optimus, and lastly, Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Megatron. Oh, by the way, speaking of Megatron, there's more to this lousy weapon than meets the eye. Anyways, let's get down to transformation, which I said in my Cliff Jumper review that it was a little frustrating. Probably going to be the same thing for this guy. Anyways, let's do it. Starting off, close in his shoulder pads, close in his hand, and then rotate the wheel to where it'll look like this. Same goes to the other side. Untab the chest, move it out, open this outwards, also open that as well, and then you're going to open that up. That happens sometimes where this guy kibble fixes itself. Make sure that doesn't happen. Close that in. I mean, if you can. For some reason, it doesn't want to close in, which is annoying. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Got it in. Close in the shoulder. Move this out. Rotate the arm. And then close it in. Make sure that tabs in. Oh, and make sure you adjust the shoulder piece properly, because sometimes it doesn't stay like this, so you have to manually adjust it. Same goes for the other side. And then starting with the legs, you're gonna rotate the waist. By the way, you might want to move this out. Untab the leg, leave it there, move this down like so. You might want to open this out, move that out as well, and then close in the front of the foot. And then, oh yeah, one thing you got to do as well is make sure that tabs in, like so. And then you go ahead and close in everything together. You do the same thing for the other side. And then lastly, you just close in the whole back piece in. Make sure it tabs in, because sometimes it pops off. Well, at least for Cliff Jumper. And yeah, you're left off with a pretty good alternate mode of War for Cybertron Bumblebee. Really gives that cyber vehicle vibe, especially with the wheels. And I guess what they tried to do here was make things a little bit neon, kind of. But I guess they were missing some white shades and some darker red or orange and yellow shades to make it look a little bit more neon. But perhaps neon wasn't their focus, so they just went with this. Anyways, there's that beautiful robot symbol right smack in the front. Anyways, you flip to the bottom and everything is stored in nicely, with of course the head being usually there. Also, you can see that there's a tab right there. It's better to put the sword in there, because with the gun, kind of leaves a little bit out, which kind of sucks. But with the sword, it works a little better. Oh, by the way, turns out works with this gun as well. Also, for weapon storage, it's pretty much the same thing as the robot mode. Although this time I'd rather the sword and the goofy gun be stored on the back, while his main cannon goes on the top, like so. And hey, that's kind of reminiscent to the Dark of the Moon stealth mode Bumblebee. Kind of. You could also switch it to make it as a rear defense. Totally works. And yeah, that's it for weapon storage. Now, before I conclude the review, I gotta have him paired alongside his fellow Autobots, that being only 3 of them, of course. We're still very early in with the War for Cybertron sub line, so far we got 5 figures. And these are the only 3 Autobots out of the 5 figures, of course. And so far, looking good. Comment down below which one's your favorite. Well, anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I had to say for this guy. Overall, the figure's pretty great. I recommend you pick him up. If you want to get him, I don't think you can find him out in retail. But I think you're better off ordering him online. GameStop to be more specific. I mean, Amazon has it. Just a little more than $25. Anyways, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button. Share this with your friends maybe. Turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another video. And most importantly, be sure to hit that big red button so we could pass 5,000 subscribers before 2024. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. See ya!